Peace FM 104.3. Who to meet
CDD4 na Westminster Foundation. Inima mamen kan sem bi na wansro kakra. For years and years and years. Na my friend Mekano Westminster. For years. Now one day at na coffee shop base. Young Queen Mofi water region Malon. Check out.
Yeah.
He's actually virtually a member of the group.
Yeah.
Now Oba Wefia Brocha Bane needs in commodity. And make away. I said, no, there's nothing like that, Mr. Come off it. What do you mean there's nothing like that? I said, no, you are wrong, Mr. I'm right. Yeah, I give you a man because I did from him could I bring
Westminster.
I said, no, there's nothing like that. It's Westminster, Mr. Come off it. You are wrong. I said,
oh no.
see, I make call office. I'm going to check me old man the files be name. If you spell it now, my law is right. I told myself that thank God that man can't coffee shop in
Westminster.
One damn group here seated in 1 year research be on 2012-2016 elections expenditure and the cost of elections. The book is The Cost of Politics in Ghana. It's a fantastic.
Yeah, they spoke to a lot of people.
Yeah. They spoke to a lot of people. You are right here. What we say? They spoke to about 250. Also, the study breaks down the various costs involved in seeking public office in Ghana. To do this, over 250 aspirants, candidates, and sitting MPs were surveyed about their experiences in the 2012 and 2016 elections.
Okay.
And let me tell you, on average, candidates needed to raise 389,803, approximately 85,000 United States dollars, to secure the party primary nomination.
That's average,
and compete in the parliamentary election in their constituency. If the cost of politics rises to unaffordable levels, the danger is that politics becomes the domain of the elite and wealthy, and that the motivation and incentives of MPs move from serving the public to recovering their own investment. I mean, who can debate this?
That's true.
None.
On point.
Unless you are a hypocrite of the highest order, or somebody who is suffering from gross selective amnesia.
Exactly.
Now, Kwame, you better pretend that may read the CCI.
It's not true.
A true reflection of our politics. Look, make it some documents on CPP here. CPP in this very beginning did not suffer this thing. There was a lot of market women and all those supporting it. In the beginning, I said, and this is pre-57. But Kwame, post-57, and indeed, perhaps it might have even begun slightly before 57, but post-57, the source of founding the party itself became problematic.
So part of the reason they fought in Nkrumah.
A true stage be look, we set up even a public company. We friend Nadeko. It's Masa. Part of contracts business, but also contracts from businessmen, commission.
Yeah.
I mean, we were collecting it.
So you had legalized it?
Yes, virtually. And it continued after the First Republic. Look, Mr. Samuel Kujutu.
Yeah.
The Venerable.
Lawyer Kujutu.
In Imdonia case bill in Parliament, they cited him for contempt of Parliament.
When he walked out?
Because his case was about something similar.
Okay.
He made a statement on the floor of the House there. The Busia administration was collecting percentages like 5%, 10%. And that was what Nkrumah's administration was doing, which they criticized. Now, what's unfair? Prove mbra. No, be putu. Was setting up committee in Parliament. In fact, he faced the Committee of Privileges. Nah, what's one for evidence? I'm going to apologize. No, so I apologize. So they asked him to leave the House. The Speaker called the marshal and said, "Walk him out."
And not to come back again.
No,
for that session.
Okay.
But one chap on the Kudisi. But Kwame, the Third Republic suffered same thing. Party financing is part of the problem. So look, we'll be looking at the party primaries and the corruption we see. And I will say some perceived by some real. Because after all, some of them are about out. Oh, me money say, me madam free man more, me rival ne man more.
Yes.
Either way, there was a swallow. Yeah, either way, there was a swallow. And it's your main problem. I mean, parties, how are they financed? If you take the primaries sector out, parties nankasa as political parties. When the campaign ensues, or even non-campaign period, how do they finance themselves? Where do they get the monies from? And how well one actually adhere to the political parties act? My audited accounts, what in my EC? Is it annually?
Yeah.
How many parties do that?
Almost.
They Kwamina, one mark, but go and check the records. They're inconsistent.
No man, American don't was a man. As to the content, the substances are under
yes, but there are some that have even breached.
Yeah.
Some have breached for years. Me will record no.
Okay.
Some of the parties, including the two major ones, are not always up to date.
Especially on the financing.
I'm telling you, on the financing.
They fail in
record no. I'm getting easy for record no.
Audited accounts.
That is a violation of the law, the act. Into whatever effect the act is supposed to have, even on sources of funding, at least over guide the money in a very sincere or honest way. It's in the breach. They observe it more in the breach. All of them. Up a presidential campaign, how did the parties raise their funding? Kwame will raise the funding no way. Some external when even the law is against that. And also businessman what them on what power try there or your investment
of course
it's that corruption is a real case. Pretend I mean my party office holder,
so
their campaign was not on the scale like MPP or NDC because the party had been marginalized by historical circumstances and things, but you ran the election and the party had the inclination to run almost all constituencies. They started that way. Until they look for the money that will reflect the scope of the campaign. Quote unquote a small party. Historically, the most, to be honest, credible party. Historically, in terms of your record. But your contemporary Ghanaian history.
Is it historically the most credible?
Oh yes, I mean, the most potent and everything historically. Contemporarily, no.
Well, potency, yes, but credible.
Also contemporarily,
you don't expect me to say my party is not credible. That's the first thing. But I still,
especially when you're one of those who have contributed to his incredible nature.
No.
Kwame,
no.
Even though ANC is the oldest party to have been founded, they came to learn from the CPP.
Look, you see, perhaps no. Maybe you are not getting my context, but whatever it is, that's not the issue.
Yeah.
So as to focus on that and lose the
proceed.
Exactly. But maybe actually the phenomenon, the corruption of the political process. You look at what happens during party primaries. You look at what happens during the general elections. You look at what happens during the presidential elections. You ask yourself the source of funding. Where do these monies come from? And we are talking of millions of dollars. Kwame, millions of dollars across the political divide. In the way is Kanifi. So submit there a politician or one particular primary of a particular party. Not so the monetization is unprecedented. I must probe this thing. I believe that we should look at the bigger picture. We should ask deep questions. Because look, we can probe what happened at the MPP primaries.
Yeah.
2-3 incidents, Hayati.
Yeah.
Thousands of CDs are with here. Some of these things, in video though, I don't think we should deny. Like in the City FM, what news be? It was a video on NDC for youth and women opinion.
Open.
Yes.
Videos
I saw it
on MDC.
Yes, technology changing first but now a lot of them were not captured and transferred for people to view. Why we can look at that. You can investigate the party Nankasa guidelines. Some of those guidelines might have been violated. Political Party Act as well as the official one, the Yisi Frankasa. There's the act, maybe free.
5-7 political parties
act only a 5-7 but there's the one that if the one that guides elections, public elections in the end, if you buy votes or you entice the voter, you are committing a crime. Yes, I've forgotten momentarily the appropriate way to classify it. But everything that happened there, both against the party guidelines and the national legislative instruments, is against them. You're able to probe this one, but you see, we would have only scratched the surface.
Ras Mubarak.
Yes, he complained. On put also money laundering, so local lodge complained with the BN.
Yes,
I doubt if he did.
I say Adento say I went say also human rights lawyer or as it Adento. So. As he spent no less than 300,000.
Yes, except the or the different combination of the elements.
So which is where's the difference?
Yes. No. I'm just being always want to be fair to the facts first.
Exactly.
He mentions about 3 or 4 in things are scanon
or the
year.
Yes. But all was intended to secure.
Yes, and then also the source of funding still is a legitimate question to ask. But I just wanted us to be fair.
Their presidential 400,000.
Yes,
400,000. Then they jump on the scene.
Guzitano alleges vote buying in NDC primary, but hopeful of victory. He was saying then Gofu. Watch a sika. It's ban. What do we label at?
Even the day of voting, the day of voting, the presidential candidate now was accused of giving monies out to go and vote for him. It's all over NDC.
We cannot tackle what happens only at party primaries and solve this challenge. That's my argument. So you better deal with this challenge. Let's be very comprehensive and sincere and honest about the phenomenon, its roots and its dynamics. And I'm saying there, the political parties, they all have questions to answer. Or can the idea of state funding for parties be not as a comprehensive solution, but at least in the sense there it might help to
that the state can regulate spending.
Yes, and also they are saying there Obutum will lessen the threat. And there's a lot of research material. In fact, this document here, this book here, make it they then recommend certain things to be done. Full proof. But I mean, these are the things they said to address these negative trends. WFP and Masha.
That's a CDD document,
Masha done a man born in full because I heard them as the CDD Ghana recommend the following measures: initiation of a national dialogue among political parties, electoral institutions, and civil society to deliberate on the impact of money on politics and the expectations citizens and politicians have in terms of its regulation. More rigorous enforcement of existing political party finance legislation. Further efforts through both formal and informal channels to increase the transparency of election spending, including requiring candidates and parties to be more open about the cost they incur. A return to the discussion about state funding for political parties. Greater engagement with citizens about the negative implications of making direct financial demands on their MPs. Further research to explore whether there is a collective action program regarding change to the system and to look at ways in which candidates develop credibility beyond money, that is social capital. Further research into the intersection of political finance and the gender political representation gap in Ghanaian politics. Greater clarity and differentiation between the party's limitations, role and responsibilities, and the individual candidate's limitation, roles and responsibility in campaign spending. Introduce practices and incentives that support parties to build loyal memberships and long-term financial planning for elections, possibly linked to state funding. provide guidance and protection for Ghanaian private sector to transparently support political parties with the Electoral Commission. And the last one, support engagement between the EC, media and political parties to address the cost of media during elections. Some of these things are not new. Some may even have been partially operationalized. But there hasn't been that determined, focused commitment, Kwame, to dealing with this thing. Because in actual fact, we are all guilty. And the truth is that we are all beneficiaries of this corruption of the political process.
Exactly.
The seeds of which were sown way back.
And we've continued, shamefully.
A document of my own CPP, and I don't mean the present CPP as presently constituted, but the history. The CPP led by Nkrumah is the same CPP. Take it from me, in my view, is that next strength
leadership
is decimated.
Membership.
Yes, there's no doubt that a combination of factors create a huge challenge for the present day CPP. But that culture, that subculture, Mr. Mankasa, Kwame, and then when you see on MPP, you remember all this. They went this for their own internal investigations and things. How I got them is my own matter. But if I read my own CPP, under the great leadership of the great Osagifo, Kwame, it's no joke.
So it's human nature, Abi?
It's no joke. And a major issue. How are we going to deal with this matter? It is submit today.
Peace FM 104.3. Good to meet you.